Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the Trading Success Show, guys. You are welcome. If this is your first time, you are welcome. Wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What I'll be doing today and what I'll be talking about today is stocks that have unusual volume. Okay, that is what I'll be dealing with today, and that is what I will be scanning for today, this weekend. Okay, because there is a reason why stocks in most cases have an unusual volume. So we want to find out why a stock has an unusual volume and what the chart patterns look like. What are the moving average is like. You want to look for entry point, you want to look for exit point. That is what I'll be talking about today. To the upside or to the downside, regardless, we have to trade, right? We have to invest, we have to look for stocks that are really befitting to our trading criteria. Okay, so also, I will also be talking about AMC as well, what I think about AMC and what I expect AMC to do in the future. Okay, most of the trades, most of the analyses I put out here on YouTube are not based on emotion. They are based on what I think the stock is gonna do. So if the stock doesn't do what I wanted the stock to do, then I understand that is a fail follow through, in my opinion. If I say stock is gonna go down, okay, and the stock start going up, then yes, I am wrong, right? But that doesn't mean that you cannot get out of the trade if you're short the stock. And also, if you're long the stock, you want to understand that trading is very, very difficult thing to do. Okay, it's not an easy thing. Yes, you can put money here and tomorrow the stock goes up a gazillion points. Okay, but what about the next trade? What about the next trade? What about the other trade? You want to be able to maintain your capital regardless of what the market action is. Yes, everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? Everybody wants to be a billionaire, but come to think about it, those people who are millionaires and billionaires, and guess what happened? It didn't happen overnight. Okay, underneath there is struggle, dedication, and focus. Okay, so I have been in this shoe so many times, and I'm still in the shoe because sometimes when I buy a stock, it doesn't go where I want it to go. So, but that doesn't mean I have to lose hope. That doesn't mean I have to say, yes, I'm done with trading, right? So the most important thing you can do in this market, regardless if the market is going up or going down, the most important thing you can do is to preserve capital. Capital is the most important thing in trading stocks, in trading equity, in trading, in general terms, in investing. That is a trading for you. Okay, so well, I've been like what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes into this. Well, this is not a buying or selling recommendation. Okay, it's just for entertainment purposes. You may learn one or two technical setup. You may learn one or two ideas on how I find my stock, what are my focuses like. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the weekend watch list for small stock. Now, like I said earlier, we're gonna be going with unusual volume. Okay, you can go on Finviz because most of the time, most of the people out there, general public, in terms of trading, retail traders, they use Finviz as well for their analysis. They use Finviz way more than they use Yahoo Finance, right? So Finviz gives you technical background and the look of a particular chart, what is going on underneath the chart. This is an example of an unusual volume stock. Okay, this is an example. This stock was like, technically we was breaking out. It was close to the point of a breakout with 4 million shares float, right? So it was above all the technical moving averages that I know that is of a decent spot. So technically we just need to break this trend. So when I saw this, I said this is an opportunity to get in at the break of $30, but it never came, right? So my idea will be to get in before the break. That is what I want to do on a low float stocks, right? On a high float stocks, you want to get in on a confirmation of the break. Now look at what happened. If assuming you're waiting for the break, you would have missed this whole big move, right? So you have to understand, when this stock actually started pushing higher, I didn't see it until it was like $35-40 per share. So now I was anticipating the break of this resistance of $39-40 spot, and I got in before that spot to ride this move up. We got to $97 per share, and I put out a tweet saying, be cautious. Okay, I set up my Fibonacci, because in most cases when a stock push this high, I want to see how much the stock is going to retrace back. So because of that, I use what we call Fibonacci retracement tool, okay, on Thinkorswim. So I put that up there from the toppest level all the way to the bottom, and I did around here and said, hey, we are really extended, but I'm looking for a pullback towards the $80 spot. We pull back towards the $80 spot and then continue higher towards the highs, but we couldn't, and then we just sold off. And I also made out a tweet saying that look at this stock, ANVS. What I'm expecting ANVS to do is to actually pull back that same day that we have momentum going on, in the market or on this particular stock, because the momentum was so huge. And guess what is going to happen? You're going to have a lot of people trying to look at the price, the previous price action, to get in the trade. So there will be, in this case, I see that there were a lot of bag holders. What I mean bag holders is people who actually, held this stock. Okay? So it is very critical you understand that it is not an easy deal to trade stocks like this. Now look at this. This was the tweet I put out, the picture I put out, at this point. When I got in was around this between $35 and $40, to be exact, $37 for the continuation higher. And I said, look at this candle, look at this candle. What am I expecting this candle to do this day? And lo and behold, we actually pull back just like we did before. Previous price action is not an indication for the future price action, but you have to use previous price action to know what the stock is gonna do, what the stock is gonna trade like. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so if you go into my stock tweets, you see that I posted it. I said play this with caution. The reason why I said play this with caution is because something happened before and it could happen again, and it did happen again. Okay, so now I said, okay, we are coming there. This is the spot we are coming to. at the end of the day after this run up towards $65. Okay, yeah, 64.31. I said we're coming back here. That is what I did, and all of a sudden I think we pull back. That is it right here. We pull back to that area. Okay, we pull back to that area and then just consolidated, push higher, back up, push higher again, and all of a sudden the stock just keep going and going and going and going higher. So that is NAVS for you guys, so you don't have to marry the stock. You just have to play technical setup, look at price action to detect what is going to happen in the future. That is what you want to do. That will help you as a trader to know where to exit, where to enter a trade, because it is very critical. You have money on the line, except you're doing paper trading, which is understandable, but in order for you to be able to trade real money, you need to understand how the paper trading works as well. Okay? Now, let's get into what we're here for today. Okay, let's get into it. Now, like I said, unusual volume, that is what I'll be looking for, right? So I'm looking for unusual volume. You can go through unusual volume by clicking it. You go to the home page on Finviz and click unusual volume. Or if you're maybe on the scanner side, maybe you mistakenly click it or someone send you a link of this nature, you want to go to signal. This area it says signal, right? You want to look for unusual volume. So you click on unusual volume. This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get 200 stocks with an unusual volume in the first page, right? So of these you have 1 through 10 pages to look at. You can go through different ways like valuation, financial ownership, etc. You can go through the chart, you can go through TA, news, snapshot as well. So, the difference between the chart and the snapshot is when you go on the chart, you're just going to see all the chart. Look at how they all set up. But it won't give you much details, right? But if you go on TA, it will also give you the chart and also gives you some information about the company. Then if you go on a snapshot, it will give you some, those details that are in your TA, okay? If you go here, it will give you details on your TA plus some form of a news and the company background. And in addition, they will tell you if there's buying or selling as well. Take a look at MTC arrows. This one, there is a buying, okay? Like for example, the president and CEO bought about 20,547 shares, okay, at $3.64 May 20th. So these are the stuff you need to look at. So I found this, I really found this snapshot really useful. Okay, so now let's get back to what I'm talking about. Unusual volume, you can go through this part, or if you're on the home page, you can go through unusual volume. It will still take you there, right? Now what I did was I did scan for several stocks. Okay, you go to filter and then you go to all. Okay, so I'm looking for stocks that are under 20 million in float, meaning I want this stock to push higher when there is momentum, right? So under 20 million, you see that ANVS actually showed up on my scanner. Okay, so pretty much that is what I'm looking for, right? That is what I want. Now, if you go back into say average volume, you can filter by over 200 and current volume over 200 as well. The reason why I want over 200 is because I want to understand that this stock has buying and selling going on in any given stock. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. You might as well go to, above the 200 moving average. Okay, if a stock is above the 200 moving average, guess what? That is where you have the institutional buyers coming in. That is where you have the big boys coming in. So they tend to look for stocks that are really above the 200 moving average in a favorable market condition. So, like OBLN, look at the volume that came in compared to the other trading days. We broke out of this trend with this increased volume, what I call an unusual volume right there. Also, if you go in, you're going to see is 7.46 million shares float. Okay, so it is very critical to understand all this little trading analysis. It's critical to understand where you are in terms of entry and exit. Like this, now we are about to break out. We try here 1 2 3 4, but we couldn't. And guess what happened? There was even this volume that came up right here. This volume, we tried, but we couldn't hold right above that trend. Because if assuming we hold right above it, is what I call confirmation of that level, right? So let's say, yes, I understand this trend wasn't here before. I totally understand, right? When this candle happened, this trend wasn't there. I totally understand. But guess what? Because we're going to be looking at the resistance. This area is your resistance right here. Your support becomes your resistance. Look at that. Okay? So that is what happened, and it got rejected. Okay? We tried again, we couldn't. So now we have a defined trend. Okay? So we tried to break out, which we couldn't. There was a volume actually to try to continue pushing higher, but we just couldn't. We closed right below the 50 moving average, right? Now we are trying again with huge amount of volume, and we closed right above this trend. So technically we are now in the bullish nature or bullish sense of OBLN. Okay, so that is how I look at my stock. That is how I trade, by looking at levels. What are the possibility of this to move higher? If assuming we fail this level, our next spot right here is going to be this support here, which is $2.22. That is going to be our next support. Okay, so now let's say for example you enter here at $2.62. Okay, for example you get in at 62 or 70. Let's take it about 250. Okay, let's take for example 250. Let's make it easy, right? So you enter at $2.50. So between $2.50 and you have your stop loss, let's run it up to about $2. You have $50 here, 50 cents here. Okay, so between 50 cents, and you are anticipating for a move higher, at least to this resistance of $4, right? So but what happened? We got to $4, which from 250 to here, that is 1 point up plus 50 cents is $1.50. But we got more. It didn't stop there, right? We got more. We got even close to $5 per share. So, for me, I would be looking at getting out around the $4 spot. Not all my position. Okay? I will be looking at getting at least half of my position, because this is a solid resistance. It was a previous support, now becomes a resistance, right? So I'll be looking at getting half of my position at this spot. Then as we continue higher to the next resistance spot, which is $4.75, $4.80, I will get out of a quarter of a position. just like that, quarter of a position until maybe we make it all the way to, you know, this high right here. So guys, that is how I look for my stocks. Okay, that is how I trade my stocks. During the market hours, I have the daily open, I have the 10 minutes, 3 minutes chart, the 5 minutes, I have them open so that I can look for the next possible resistance, the next possible level if there's no volume. We broke out of this OBLN trend resistance because there was a huge amount of volume, and now we close above it. I will be expecting continuation higher on this name. So I will post my scanner, the one that I scanned already, on the description below. Okay, so that you can, you know, look at it and pull up the Finviz. You know, you don't have to do all the whole crazy work, but you know, you can just click on it and take a look at, you know, the stocks that I have on the list, which is going to be these right here. Okay, so I have good setup. Like, look at this right now. We are, you know, breaking out of this trend. It's an unusual volume. There's a volume, you cannot see it, but there is an unusual volume on this name, SLS. You go in here, VCNX. This one has an unusual volume. Okay, this VT has an unusual volume. Okay, like unusual meaning, you know, volume came in greater than the volume in the past month or time immemorial, right? So that is the stocks. If you want to put all of them up in a chart format, this is how the whole stocks looks like. So this is what I'll be watching for this coming week for continuation higher, and also setting stop loss as well. Okay, like take a look at the BRN. This one, every time this is known for pop and fade, meaning the stock will push higher and then the same day it will push back down, right? Or the following day. Now see what happened here. We pop, we fail. We pop, we fail. We pop, we fail. We pop, we fail. Right? The same here, pop and then fail. Fail the following day. Pop, we fail. Come here again, pop, fail, pop, fail, pop, fail. Pop, fail. So what I'm expecting, pop, fail, pop, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. But look at the float, 3.4 million shares. Guys, that is it, guys. That is the watch list for the weekend. I will be I don't have much time to go through details of each of the stocks, but you know, with what I've said so far, you can, you know, look at the chart and look at which one you really like, you know, and then go from there. Have you guys a fantastic, beautiful weekend, guys. Bye bye. Yeah, this is beautiful.